Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on origin-based rate management in JeraSoft Billing version 3.28. This release brings a significant upgrade to how OBR is handled in the system, with native support for origin DAX, a streamlined import process, and improved visibility across your reports. In this video, we'll walk through the full workflow, setting up the origin DAX, importing OBR rate files, your day-to-day management options, and the call flow rules to keep in mind. So let's get started. The foundation of the OBR workflow in version 3.28 is a new entity called Origin DAX, which you will find under Configuration drop-down menu right here, Origin DAX. So this is the Origin DAX section, and it lists all existing Origin DAX in the system. Here you can create new ones, edit existing, or delete them from the system completely. So let us create a new origin DAC. We will create it for our vendor B and give it a company. The DAC appears in the list. Normally, you would populate your origin DAC through the import process. So let's go to the rate tables list and find our rate table for vendor B that has this origin DAC assigned. If I open the settings, the parameters for this rate table, I can see that there is a field for origin DAC. Right here, you can choose your DAC. So let us walk through the import process for the OBR rate files. Let me open my file for vendor B. And this is a pretty straightforward Excel file for OBR rates. So we have the price list sheet with our prices. And we have also our origins list with the list of origins. Your rate files can be formatted differently, so it can be the same as my sample file where the origins list is a separate sheet in a file. It can also be when your origins are on the same sheet as your prices, in line basically. So it's perfectly fine. Both of the variants are covered by the system, and you can populate your origin DAX and import your OBR rates normally. So to accommodate the processing of such files, we have added a new sheet type to the list, the origins sheet type. And you can use it for your list of origins if it's in a separate sheet in your Excel file, so that it can be picked up by the system and your origin DAC can be populated or updated with each consecutive import process. Let us map this file. So for our price list sheet, let me unfold and mark our first line. I will do the necessary changes here. And everything else can be left as is. And for our origins list, let me select the origins sheet type. Again, unfold our header, select the lines, and we'll have our origin name and origin code. Within the advanced settings of the step 2, after the codecs block, we now have the origin DAX block for the same logic of populating our origin DAX if they are in line within your rate file. So right now, this option for updating is grayed out because we have our origin list separately. If we would have our origins in line, we will be able to update it the same as we used to update the codecs within the system with the update mode here in the advanced settings. After all of our settings are specified, we can proceed with import as normal. Once your import finishes, you will be prompted to the rate table view as usual. So let's check how our origin DAC has been populated. Let's go to the origin DAX, and we've been working with our vendor B. We can see now it has 240 origins in there, and we can look through them and see, okay, this is our list of origins. This is how it was populated. We can check like this. Grab one origin, and in the rate table, in the filters, set it right here, query, and we will see all of the prices with this specified origin. As with any origin change, please restart the Cache Manager after import so the new data is active for live call processing. If you will not do that, the system will automatically reload Cache Manager. Usually it happens every 6 minutes and all the information will be updated. By the way, the prefixes within origin names can overlap. Each prefix can belong to more than one origin at the same time, and this is caused by the fact that origin names themselves are defined per destination. For example, code 49. It is present in, you see, a lot of different origin names. Let's talk about your OBR rate management day to day. First of all, as I mentioned before, you can assign an origin DAC directly to the rate table. So in rate table settings, you have the origin DAC field where you can do that. Most likely you will have separate origin DACs per each vendor you're working with and a single one for all of your customers. Second of all, within the rate table, if you add your prices manually, you now have the origin name field as well here, so you can create your OBR prices manually as well. The source code and source code name fields will be eventually removed from the system and they will be completely replaced by origins as the new standard approach in the system. When exporting OBR rate files, please select the Excel format to be able to work with additional settings related to origin-based rates. You can include separate sheets for OBR and for origins, replicating the format that your initial import files were presented as. So it's easy now to share structured rate files with your partners when doing the exporting from the system. So you can enable your separate OBR, enable your attach origins if necessary, and here in the OBR export columns, you can specify which exact information will be on your OBR rate sheet, same as you have the export columns for the regular rates. The same option is available for customer notifications through reseller settings, and here you can also check the Excel format and work with your origin-based rate settings. You can separate your OBR rates, you can attach origin separately, and you can work with customizing the columns. The rates simulation tool also supports OBR. You can set your source party ID, let's do some destination, and hit process, and the system will let you know if there are any origin-based rates. In our case, there is for destination 44, zone UKG. In our reports, namely the summary report, the origination, termination, and XDRs report, you can now filter and group by origin and origin name, giving much cleaner visibility into origin-based traffic and billing. So let's see on an example of customer C. And let's do the destination. We've been working with 44 for this case. Let's do grouping by origin name. For filters, you can also work with origin and origin name. And let's query. So for our test case, we have 3 types of traffic flows. We have a traffic flow from Moldova to the UK, within the UK, and also an unidentified origin, meaning that we do not have any OBR within the system for that specific case, so our regular destination-based price is used. And before we wrap up, I wanted to highlight an important rule about how OBR affects call processing. OBR rates always take priority. When the system finds a rate matching both the destination and the origin of the call, that rate is always used over any regular rate for the same destination. That means if OBR rates exist for an origin plus destination match, regular rates will never apply. And that's the full walkthrough of the OBR workflow in JeraSoft Billing version 3.28. We've talked about origin deck setup, what origins are, about rate file import, or day-to-day management and call flow behavior. The new native functionality makes OBR significantly easier to manage at scale with less manual overhead across the board. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the JeraSoft support team or consult the documentation at docs.jerasoft.net. Thanks for watching.